I
Yeah.
want to talk about poverty.
Mm-hmm.
It hits home for me, someone who used to live in San Francisco for a very long time,
Oh,
a
yeah.
city with an enormous homeless population. You've noted that China raised hundreds of millions of people out of poverty. In the cities and towns you visited, what everyday signs of transformation did you see? Because, 20 years ago, China had homeless people too, and it was on
Yeah.
par with cities like San Francisco. How has that changed? What lessons are there for us?
And again, of course, when I here in Central Texas a number of years ago, 5, 6, 7 years ago, you had a phenomenon where entire tent cities were being built under the highways, and if you go into Los Angeles, it's pretty much a nightmare there. I lived in Philadelphia for a long time; it's a nightmare there. So certainly, I saw some poverty. I don't know if I saw actually homeless people. I ran into one person begging the entire trip that I was there. And actually I was a little bit perplexed because she was well dressed, but she seemed very, straightforward and honest. I helped her because that's what you do. You help people. And why not? So I did not see masses of homeless people. I didn't see, again, I was up early. So, you typically, if you're up early, you walk in certain areas, you're going to see where people have maybe cardboard, or whatever, ramshackle, shelters that they're going to sleep under. So I didn't see any of that. And what I understood, and you can correct me, Jason, what I understand is when somebody basically falls on bad times, has hard luck, whatever it is, lose their job, there is a concerted effort, not just by the family, but it's a kind of in the community, by the local government, to figure out how to retrain this person and get him plugged into something. So it's just a different attitude towards people as the asset as opposed to dollars as the asset. When I was in Beijing, they showed us this master plan from 2016 to 2035. Totally a nerdy thing, but I called them. I said, look, that master plan, it's all in Chinese, but I want it. And I spent some time trying to translate it. One of the goals by 2035, they have 5 goals, but this one just keeps coming back at me. Make life more convenient, more comfortable, and more beautiful. I mean, what government, makes that as a goal for its citizens? And when I spoke to people on the street, I'm like, okay, tell me about your government. Tell me about this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, where if you don't like something, there's not enough garbage cans, you call up and complain, and then the garbage cans arrive in, a couple of days. And every city, people continue to tell me, well, no, our government actually wants to make sure that our lives are good. That we are secure, that we have stability, and I think that's really the concept. That's not an accounting entry, but it's a principle. It's an overriding principle. So, furthermore, I would say in terms of the extreme poverty question, the yuan that people have figuratively in their pocket buys much more there than here. So no, they don't make as much as I do as an American, but they can actually take advantage of more things in terms of the availability or the savings. People save too. They have that luxury, quote unquote, of saving. And again, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think that their college students graduate from university with 100 to 200K of debt.
I was thinking about student loans when I went to bed, because I think it's like 50,000 U.S. Citizens have student loans with an average of 30,000 in student loans. People with masters and PhDs, doctorates, medical degrees, they have, like you said, hundreds of thousands, and they spend 30 years paying that off. There are student loans in China. I just want to point that out. It's very low. It's very uncommon. It's usually people from poorer families take out little loans, and usually it's only a few $1,000s by the time they graduate, and they're able to pay that back within a year or so on average. Mm-hmm. But most people do not need that, because you also pointed out savings rate in China is 40%. That's the average for an adult Chinese citizen. And, very few have credit card debt at all. My wife, Chinese, she has 10 credit cards, but we don't have any credit card debt. Like in the United States, you need to have debt to create good debt. And there's this idea you need to constantly be incurring debt and then paying debt off well. That doesn't exist. If you have credit cards and you pay them off, you have great credit in China. It's very simple.
Yeah, again, that's because what we've kind of turned it on its head, where we've taken something that is not real, monetary values, and we've made that what is important, as opposed to the development of. I mean, look, if you got to go back and read the Declaration of Independence and the U.S. Constitution. It's embedded in those documents that the purpose of the government is the benefit of the citizens. That's not an accounting entry. That is not, money. That is not a candlestick on a financial, stock table or something like that.